Why would the Fed want to go for the almost DEFCON measure of 50 basis points this time round, or are you in the 25 camp?
Thanks for having me, Steve. We are more likely 25, but love to see 50. And the reason you do 50 next week would be as a more or less a safety mechanism. You have 7 weeks between next week and the meeting until the November meeting. And a lot can happen negatively. And, the trend has been a little bit negative, whether you look at jobs or other mechanisms or parts of the economy reporting over the last several months. So it would be more of a method of trying to get in front of things. The Fed's caught on their back of their heels a little bit. So we think that it would be good if they got in front of it, did the 50 now, and then made a decision in terms of November and December, maybe to do 25 at that point in time.
There was always an argument, and I heard it from some Fed members a long time ago, I haven't heard it recently, that if you go too quickly and inflation isn't tamed, you risk reigniting animal spirits to a degree that you could reignite inflation. David, do you have any sympathy with that view?
Not really. Inflation, certainly, after a couple of months of hotter inflation at the beginning of the year, has certainly trended down. And when you look at the leading indicators, and certainly that relates to owner's equivalent rent, in terms of rent and housing prices, the leading edge has been coming down. It just hasn't shown up yet in the data. We believe it will, certainly over the next couple of months. And then when you look at, we talked about hotter core CPI, hotter core PPI, when you map that over to the PCE, which certainly is the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation, that shows for the next PCE, which is in a couple of weeks, relatively tepid readings. So we feel pretty good about where inflation is right now.
David, morning to you. I mean, does the market know what to focus on, though? And I only ask that because this week we've gotten that economic data, plus we've kept on hearing from Jensen Huang, and the shift has been quite remarkable as to whether it moves on NVIDIA news or whether it's moving on Fed news. Which is more significant?
Well, you saw Wednesday was quite amazing. So you had the hotter CPI, and the market was down, 800 points on the Dow. And then Jensen Huang got on, and it was like he gave, the market's having a temper tantrum, and he gave the market a taffy. And the market all of a sudden said, oh, it's going to be okay. And the market ends up hundreds of points up. So certainly in the short term, when he speaks and you're in a little bit of oversold position like we were the other day, that mattered a lot.